let's dive into Clemson versus Stanford. So Clemson, I thought got off to a bit of a slow start. Let me pull this over here. It was a little bit of a struggle for a while. So obviously they immediately jumped out to a quick 10-0 lead because of a fumble. But I really thought that Stanford was the team just making dumb mistakes. They were, I don't want to say unforced because Wade Wood has had an excellent strip that caused the fumble. But the decision to start passing in the red zone 2 different times was really vexing to me. Didn't make any sense. They were running the ball with ease. I know that running outside gets harder in the red zone because the safeties are now closer. I get that. But to just start passing it with Ashton Daniels, who's not a great passer and he is a great runner, didn't make any sense to me. I was begging them to pass when they do it. I was just laughing. The picks were really egregious, bad picks. Like as soon as he threw it, I'm like, that's a pick. And their receivers almost didn't have a chance. They were gimme picks. I thought they threw away the game pretty early. And once they kind of stopped doing that, they played Clemson even for a while. It was 17-7 at halftime, despite two picks. It probably should have been 17-17 if they don't do that. But nonetheless, later in the game, Clemson really picked it up. So a couple of things. I thought Klubnik didn't look that great. Hold on, let me find the specific play. So there was the long, it was a 70-yard completion to Wesco. Great play, but he left the throw like 5 yards short. If he leads them by another couple of yards, it's an easy touchdown. Instead, he's tackled on the 10-yard line. Clemson doesn't get the touchdown, and they end up settling for a field goal. Look, they won 40-14. It's fine, but he was completely open. That's the receiver doing all the work, and the quarterback didn't overthrow him. I guess that's worse, right? To overthrow a guy that you have a free 70-yard completion to, but not a great throw. It was a little late too, but also underthrown. Klubnik also had an interception, and it was kind of a bad one. Guy was running up the sideline. He had just started to beat the cornerback, but the safety was coming over, and he threw it, and the safety got I don't want to say an easy pick, but a pretty standard interception. But meanwhile, Olsen Pat Henry had cut across the middle of the field. I don't know if it was a slant as much as it was like sort of curling over the middle, but he had a pretty big open spot there, just kind of waiting for it, and Klubnik didn't see him, right? So that's a decision error there, more than an accuracy error. And then there's a couple other balls left short. Sometimes he would go long when there was a guy open short, or he would check it down and not see a guy open. I remember one time, I don't remember which player it was. I think it might have been Antonio Williams, but he was wide open for a touchdown. Instead, he checked it down, maybe got 5 yards, something like that. So I didn't think it was his best game, but again, when they really needed to pull away there at the end of the third quarter, I thought the most impressive moment of the game happened then. So the game's still in the balance. It's 20-7, and it's 20-7, and that's when there's the long pass to TJ Moore. He kind of bobbles it. I honestly didn't think it was a catch. I know a lot of you are going to disagree with that. I didn't think it was a catch. They take it off the board. And that's honestly when Clemson would just like run the ball a couple of times and end up, punting or something like that. Or maybe use little screens after kind of a disheartening play like that. That's what we've grown accustomed to. Instead, Garrett Riley dials up a long pass play. Cole Turner uses some great speed. He really is fast. And Klubnik puts it on the money for a touchdown. Excellent throw, excellent catch, amazing speed, touchdown, 43 yards, and that extends the lead to 27-7. Pretty much ends it. Stanford then gets the ball. Good for them because they went for a fourth down. That was kind of like, if we don't get this, the game's over. It's the fourth quarter now. They didn't get it, and then Clemson just dagger. Klubnik Wesco, 34-yard touchdown, another great pass, elite receiver making great plays. And then they did it one more time, just to make it even better. A little, more of a plotting drive, and then it's to Olsen Pat Henry for a touchdown to make it 40-7, and then it would end up being 40-14 for a Clemson win. So not the prettiest all the way through, but in the end, Clemson pulled away. Not overly disappointed, but not blown away. The main thing that bothered me was the defensive ends. I thought AJ Hoffler struggled. I thought Cade Denhoff struggled. Whenever quarterback or even a running back went to the outside, they were pushing in and they ran right around the defensive end. And Kevin, I couldn't agree with you more here. especially early in the game, running it. Clemson was not stopping it. I would have just ran it down Clemson's throat, toss, triple option to the outside, speed option worked great. There was one play where Ashton Daniels faked a speed option, and I don't remember if it was a defensive end or a linebacker. It might have been both. I think it was one of them was R.J. Mickens, all bit on the fake, and he ran upfield. So that outside run was great. I don't know why they, to your point, got cute. They could have made it close, but again, when Clemson needed to, they figured out the offense, smashed the gas, and blew them away. But the defensive end issue is real, right? That's not a fluky thing. Without Peter Woods, the defensive end group's really, honestly, like not that great. TJ Parker's good. He's a great pass rusher, but he's more of your pass rusher than your edge setter. So then the other side, you'd really like to have, someone who's going to be great against the run. I didn't think Hoffler did that. Lawson I thought was decent, and maybe he's the next. Maybe he starts if Woods isn't back. But Clemson really needs Woods to be a starter. Dabo Swinney offered Coach Rumpf. He said, "Hey, do you want to go in the portal?" Because they lost Adam Kisai, who came in as a freshman, immediately transferred to Minnesota, and said, "Hey, we got that scholarship open. If you want, we can get a transfer." And Rumpf said, "No, thanks." And I think that was because he was just so confident in Woods. But now Woods is out, you wish you had that transfer. So hopefully Woods is back, and it's no harm, no foul, because when Woods is there, it's a great D line. The defensive tackles I thought were very good. I was totally wrong about them. I thought there would be struggles in defensive tackles since they lost everyone and then they moved Woods outside. But honestly, that hasn't been the case. All the defensive tackles have been excellent. Peyton Page has been good. Trey Williams has been good. Really, really impressed with them, and got to admit when I'm wrong. And I thought they were awesome. Who else deserves to be called out? Oh, of course, Devontae Capehart. He's been great all season. So love the defensive tackles and their play. Stephylon Green too. So that is something that I was a little worried about, and it has proved to not be a real reason to worry. Yes, Kevin, you're right here. Cade was short on throws all day. It's not going to work against Georgia, even though Georgia did lose. Can't say it enough. They did lose this weekend, but yeah, not going to work against Miami. How about that? But I think he'll get better, right? He'll get better. And he did, right? He did in the second half when he just blew him away in a couple plays. Or a couple final things. I thought Olsen Pat Henry looked really good. He's become the number 2 tight end. He's surpassed Josh Sapp. Didn't see that coming. I was wrong about that one too. But he looks great. I didn't know he could be so effective as a pass catcher, and he's good. So I think you feel good about Briningstool and Olsen Pat Henry now. That's a good duo. And Sapp's still perfectly good as a third string. So you got some depth at tight end now. You got to feel good about. And then I thought Woodaz and Carter were awesome. Carter had 3.5 tackles for loss. He was zipping all over the field. Woodaz had a pick and the forced fumble on a really, really good strip on the very first drive. Thought they were awesome. Avian Terrell had a pick. Jaden Lucas had a pick. They were awesome, and they made Ashton Daniels look really, really bad. 9 for 19 with 1 touchdown, 3 interceptions. The touchdown was on an incredible throw that you do not blame really anyone on the defense for. Just elite NFL throw, which kind of came out of nowhere because he'd struggled so much. But yeah. Wade Woodaz was sensational. Absolutely. He was great. So kudos to that group. So I guess my final thoughts on this game are Clemson did not look sensational. Clemson did not look unbelievable. I don't think they're ready to go beat Alabama or Texas, or maybe not even go back and rematch and beat Georgia, right? But I think what we've seen this week is this could be the class of the ACC. Let's see one more week before we get a little aggressive and move Clemson above Miami. I'm not quite ready to pull the trigger on that, but I'm not scared of Miami anymore. I think Clemson and Miami are neck and neck right now. So I think that's a pretty good takeaway to have coming out of this week. If you enjoyed this video, please help this channel by liking the video, subscribing, and leaving a comment. Also, if you're a pet owner and you live in the upstate, check out our sponsor, Ready Vets. They offer immediate walk-in care when your pet can't wait. They're open 7 days a week till 10 p.m. They're owned by 2 Clemson grads. They're located in Taylor's, just 10 miles from the Woodruff Road shopping district.